The year of the Cyberpunk is just getting started, but if you need an appetizer to the 2077 main course, then I've got the perfect game for you. Hello friends, it's Codiak here, one half of the team behind Legacy Gaming, and strap yourself in and let's check out Ghostrunner to determine if it's truly worth your time. Before we dive in, I just want to thank All In Games for providing us with a review copy of Ghostrunner. We don't get many releases early, so it means a lot that we could spend the time to really dive into the game. Now, you may have seen one of our previous videos for Ghostrunner. This game has been on my radar for quite some time, and I think it's because I'm growing fond of challenging platforming games. Much like Mirror's Edge back in 2008, Ghostrunner combines fast-paced platforming with pure action. You can honestly break the game down into three chunks: platforming, combat, and puzzles. At its core is, of course, the free running, which is nearly perfect. Moving around a massive dystopian tower is exhilarating. The game slowly drip feeds you new abilities and implements new free running mechanics up until the very end of the game, and it ensures that you never get too comfortable with your surroundings. Each room is an elaborate maze, and the game gives you freedom to explore the room however you want. Of course, there is a path of least resistance, but more than once, I found myself forging my own way through an area. I just want to make sure I'm crystal clear. There is so much variety to the freerunning, more than any other game I've ever played up until this point. Getting around as a cybernetic ninja is easy enough as it is, but mix in some augmentations like dash and your hook ability, and you can absolutely fly. Now, I mentioned the freerunning is almost perfect, and I think that's a fair assessment. The Ghostrunner world is incredibly designed. You're scaling a massive dystopian tower, and while the world doesn't change drastically from start to finish, it is beyond elaborate. Neon billboards, massive shipping crates, decrepit alleyways, the team did an outstanding job plunging players into this world, but it does cause some problems with the free running, potentially by design. A fair warning, this is not your average platformer, and possibly one of the most challenging platforming games you'll ever play. The world can often get in your way, whether intentional or not, and while it is a bit frustrating, getting back into the action is damn near instantaneous, which is incredible, but it can mess with your head, especially on the giant laser room. But don't worry, no spoilers. Freerunning is only one half of the equation. While you're jumping and climbing, you'll also have to deal with a constantly evolving set of enemies. To be clear, this is more about maneuvering and timing than anything else, but we'll call it combat just to stay on the same page. Things start off simple, standard thugs that shoot pistols and single projectiles, but as you progress, you'll fight a diverse set of enemies called the Keys, which include guys with machine guns, shields, and even samurai swords. Just like with the freerunning, as soon as you get comfortable with one enemy type, the game throws a new one right at you, and honestly, I really appreciated this about the game. The developer pulls you through this adventure one step at a time, and while you can pinpoint moments where something new happens, it's a constantly evolving process. Killing enemies is a satisfying reward for beating them at their own game. Each has a moveset or weapon you have to navigate around, and once you do that, one swing of the sword will send them flying. Again, it's not a true combat system, but it never gets old. Even the boss fights find a way to combine both the free running and combat mechanics in an interesting way. While I don't want to show you too much on this particular topic, because let's be real, spoilers, just know that there are some incredible moments ahead of you. Combat is elevated to the next level with the introduction of cybernetic abilities, unlocked during Cyber Void events. Don't worry, we'll talk about those soon enough. By the end of the game, you'll unlock 4 special abilities on top of your sensory ability, which gives you new tools which allow you to approach an encounter in new ways. These abilities are incredibly overpowered, but not without their limitations, and a focus system guarantees that you can't just blow enemies to bits with supernatural powers. To make combat even more interesting, there is an incredible, unique upgrade system. As you progress, you'll unlock more of your cybernetic grid and new upgrade modules that you can use. The catch here is that each upgrade is actually a puzzle piece with a unique shape and size, and you have to find a way to make them fit to activate them. It's a really creative way to force players to make decisions, challenging them to really ask, what's important to me? You can also access these upgrades from anywhere, which is great because what you see is what you get with Ghostrunner. There are no difficulty settings, no way to cut corners, so your upgrades may be your best chance for an edge. As I told Livid, each encounter is like a dance. You learn the steps and execute. You won't get it right the first, second, or possibly 100th time, but eventually the free running and the combat will click and you'll be one step closer to your goal. Now, I mentioned you could break Ghostrunner down into 3 parts, and the third one is really what ties everything together, the story and puzzle elements of the game. From the second you fire up Ghostrunner, you'll be given bits and pieces of information about what's going on. Just like with the progression, the story comes in drips and drabs, and it's not until the very end when it all comes together in one climactic moment. I will admit, it's not the most complex story in the world. I wasn't really enamored with the characters, but there are some shining moments, and the entire thing really keeps the game glued together. To break up the action, you'll enter the Cyber Void, an alternate world where you'll spend most of your time solving puzzles or trying some challenging parkour. The team brilliantly uses these moments to break up the action, change the scenery, and slow down the game, and it works. At first I was annoyed and just wanted to get back into the action. By the end, I really enjoyed these challenging detours as they made me appreciate the other moments in the game that much more. Outside of the Cyber Void, it's all slash and dash, but inside, you have to think differently, and it's an experience that truly helps complete the game. Eventually, and after much trial and error, you'll learn all the characters, what their motivations are, understand the world around you, and ultimately reach a conclusion. But until that point, you just have to keep going, and that's really the beauty of the game. If you have not figured it out by this point, let me make it perfectly clear. Ghostrunner is definitely worth your time. The developers have achieved something remarkable, evolving the genre. This game is wildly immersive, challenging without being torture, and systematically flawless. Seriously, rack your brain and think of another first-person 3D platformer, and I guarantee you Ghostrunner wipes the floor with it. I know there are a lot of games to play as we head towards the end of 2020, but seriously, do yourself a favor and pick this up. It's not incredibly long. In fact, I beat it in one 8-hour session, but I'm fairly decent at platformers. This is easily beatable in a weekend and something I would really hate for people to miss out on. In terms of the game, it's one of the highlights of the year and a true game changer in the genre. Ghostrunner is available for around $30 and is pretty much available everywhere starting on October 27th. You can check it out on PC, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox One. We hope this video helped you figure out if Ghostrunner is worth your time. If you enjoy this series and want more worth your time videos in your feed, go ahead and hit that thumbs up and consider subscribing to Legacy Gaming. You can also check us out on Discord. Our community of nearly 6,000 members is spread across dozens of great games, so click that link below and join today. My name is Codiak, and from everyone here at Legacy Gaming, thanks for watching, and play on.